Grand Finals, Decidueye versus Greninja. Let's go. Best of 5. So now in this situation, you do have access to double roulette here, which is really good in his situation because sometimes the deck does struggle on finding that Pokemon. Gonna go into Professor's research, and I think he's just gonna end the turn here. So let's open up both players' deck lists here. If we look into Kaizen, right? Kaizen is playing the standard Indeedee 1 Greninja EX and has access to 1 Hand Disruption, right? The older list has been playing double Giant Cape, but they did take out Giant Cape for from 2 Giant Capes to 1 Giant Cape, so they could play an additional Mars, I believe, or they might have taken out a Irida down to 1 in order to fit in a Mars. Hand Disruption is very important in general in these high level matches. So it does look like Decidueye, Froakie in the back is gonna grab the energy, right? So kind of telling here, it feels like a Greninja EX play might be coming anytime soon here. But right now he's trying to decide on what's the best option here. Do we go Decidueye EX or Decidueye regular in the front row? So he summons the Decidueye in the front row, has Decidueye EX in the back, and just gonna end his turn. Now if he has the Greninja EX, he could pop off here. Here we go. We got a interesting game number 1 Greninja EX coming off, and it's going to do 100 damage for sure. Now we have to go a little bit more, aggressive here, right? Because if you don't go aggressive during this play, you just kind of lose it all here, right? And he's kind of already committed to playing Decidueye EX. Now, right now, the energy has to go on Decidueye EX because Decidueye EX is the only hope you have of winning this game right now. So meaning, regular Decidueye has to be, sacrificed at this moment. So both players ended up getting their most optimal evolutions out, turn 2 on curve, which is an amazing, back and forth that we could potentially see here. And 100 damage is going to take the knockout here. Now, not sure if Kaizen was holding Pokemon not to put in the bench just because, that Decidueye could target anything on the field. But at the same time, it was not living 2 hits here from Greninja, so he's gonna be forced to hit him for 80 damage. But one thing, 170 HP is still kind of insane. While you have infinite healing in your deck, it's just insane. Going to go for the Irida. Irida was actually very, very pivotal for this Greninja EX to survive. Like, it doesn't look like Decidueye is having a good time here. Going in for 100 damage because that's literally the only optimal play that you can do. In this situation, he doesn't even really have to commit anything to the field yet. He could just pretty much chill here or drop everything on the board. But doing 100 damage is very crucial here, but it really depends if he has access to his healings, because if he has access to healing, he could just pop off. coming up with another Suicune EX on the board. I feel like he's just trying to prepare and get ready to win the game one way or another. I feel like he really needs access to the second. Oh, that's huge. This is huge. Giant, what do you call it? Rocky Helmet is going to be a guaranteed 100 damage on either Suicune here. So right now, he's in a situation where he has to fill up the bench if he wants to start doing some crazy damage. But then again, to be fair, he does only play 2 Lily and 1 Erika. If the Decidueye player wants to win this, he has to see his second Lily in order to pop off here. But at the same time, we are not seeing that. He has 1 card left in hand. His opponent has multiple resources here. But the thing is with Decidueye, he could hit anything around. He could hit everything on the board. So that's one thing you have to pay attention to right now. 3 cards left in his deck. 8 cards left in Decidueye. Right now, Kaizen has to really determine like what's the right play here, because Giant Cape is actually pretty good, but it's not going to save him from taking 100 damage next turn. I mean, if he can only do 40 damage here, 20 damage here, that's going to be like super bad. Because you definitely need to start seeing your Froakies, so you could drop at least 1 more Froakie on the board, maybe an Indeedee, something. So it looks like we're just going to go swing for 20, it seems like. Oh yeah, definitely. This deck has a great advantage. 20 damage. Does he have the healing? No shot. He drew the 1 card. The 1 card that could get him out there. That is insane. This guy's just like playing with himself, bro. This guy's just dropped that shit, bro. BM is crazy. That shit was crazy. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, he's kinda in an unfortunate position right now. I mean, 120, let's just be realistic, it's not happening. He could do 100 damage all across the board. The most he could heal right now is 60 damage with Irida and Indeedee, but he only plays 1 Irida, so I mean, you definitely just want to swing here, right? Gotta play it out. It is a best of 5 though. It is a best of 5. But that was a crazy top deck. I was not expecting. That was the only thing that would get him out there, because look at all these Pokemon that he just dropped. Like, he would have popped off. Game number 1 going to Decidueye. Now, if we go into the Decidueye deck right now. Again, you guys already seen the deck list, but I'm going to pull it up as we transition into game number 3, and we're going to spectate Kaizen's view. So right now they are searching for each other, so as soon as we could get them matched up, we'll be ready. Sweet Gren is lucky if they could get 1 game against Greninja. What is the win rate percentage on this, Logan? Do you have that? Alright, so we have the next game coming in. Let's go. And this is on the side of Kaizen. Alright, getting the Froakie lead here versus Rowlet lead. Of course, the Rowlet's always going to be the lead. So it does look like we're going to have to thin out the deck here and get as much Pokemon as we could get out of the deck so we could thin out the deck here. But now, you know, the one thing about Rowlet, like, they're getting the first energy, right? And then they could definitely put damage on the board whenever they want. So you definitely, it does apply pressure on the opponent. Like if they put a EX Pokemon or something like that, they would be put into a disadvantageous position. So that is one thing that you have to keep in mind here. Going to draw 2 cards. Little bit of lag, but the Froakie's gonna get hit right here. Now it does look like he's gonna drop the Indeedee. Indeedee's gonna heal the Froak. Suicune is maybe. He's trying to figure out. His opponent is showing 2 Rowlets, right? You know, you want to be a little bit conservative with your plays here because you really don't want to just you lose to random you know, Decidueye pings here and there. So this matchup is not very favorable for Greninja. I'm just gonna say that. It has been a while though that this actually ended up winning. Decidueye ended up winning like any tournament in general in the last couple of weeks since you know, this format has dropped. He still has the water energy and he drew into the rare candy as we can see. So he does have options here. Now the scary part is, like, you have to invest in the Froakie in the front. Yeah, and I agree with you, Diego, but the problem here too is you can't fit in you know, Chingling into a Greninja deck. So it looks like he got the Dartrix in the back. He has 5 cards in his hand. Going to give the energy to Dartrix, so he does not have access to Decidueye right now. So it looks like he's just gonna swing. He does not have the rare candy. So he's gonna make Indeedee a liability here. Yeah, nah, that's why Indeedee's such a good card, but at the same time, you know, it's one of those cards that's just like, it does nothing but heal, but like, it just makes it like a crazy liability. We're gonna go into the rare candy, Greninja. Unfortunately, supporters have been used for this turn, so we're gonna go into hitting the Dartrix here and get the knockout on Rowlet. Getting the knockout on Rowlet is pretty crucial. You're putting him at, like, you know, in a situation where he has to play with 1 Decidueye. So it's either going to be Decidueye EX or regular Decidueye, whatever he has in hand. His opponent definitely, Kaizen has access to doing 80 damage per turn. So that's one thing he has guaranteed for sure. But it depends on the healing that he has in hand, or if he even has a Decidueye. Yeah, no, he's definitely in a situation where he has to think here, because if he drops the wrong Decidueye, it's kind of cooked. Alright, so it does look like we're going to go into this Decidueye, right? Going in for Ericka. And I guess they're just going to go into getting rid of the Froakie? Yeah. Going into for the free point here. So I think we're really just going to go down into Indeedee, it looks like. It's either going to be the Indeedee. Yeah. That was actually the right play, because the situation would have been so much worse if he ended up popping off with, you know, with Greninja EX late game, which he ended up drawing right now, which ended up being a dead card. He's not out of the woodwork right now either, I would say, because that Greninja just doing 80 damage back to back, unless he has a Lily, there really isn't like anything that he could do right now. Which he does have the Lily, which is going to allow him to live one extra turn here. So he's gonna hit the Indeedee. We're gonna have to split the energy here. Irida is gonna be forced out, which is gonna make him go to 90, but he's gonna be in a position. He's in a tough position regardless, right? He has to have another Indeedee in order to pop off. Does he have the second one? Yes or no? Because he already used 2 of his healing cards. He has the third, and the third is going to be it. That's going to be the nail in the coffin. Not necessarily. He actually the Suicune. Nah, that's 80 as well. Never mind. All he could do, the maximum damage he could do is 80. It is definitely going into game number 3. The Decidueye player definitely has the advantage here for sure. That's kind of frustrating that you're only 10 HP away from like winning this game, right? But now all you have to do is swing into Indeedee, and we're heading into game number 3. Again, this is a best of 5 situation. Don't know why the Rocky helmet, the BM. Correct. This is best of 5. Best of 5. Alright, so we're gonna head over to the point of view of the Decidueye player. Again, we are going back and forth, so just making sure everybody could show off their decks here. Yeah, no, this is like not favorable whatsoever for Decidueye. Alright, they are searching for each other. Here we go. The last one. Not the last one. Not to say like the last one, but it's just like, you know, So Ninja has to really, lead out really optimally in order to pop off. Just like Suicune, having Mars early could definitely throw him off for a loop. Just like you said, Jay. But starting off with Froakie is not the most ideal situation. The Suicune is out, having the copycat. I guess you want to have the most optimal hand going into this, and dropping Froakie out here. You know what's the crazy part? Kaizen literally has no sleeves and no playmat. I just noticed that. That's funny. Alright, gonna go for Pokeball here, right? Gonna see the second Rowlet, which is kind of huge in this situation, but it does look like he's going to swing into definitely the Froakie in the back, because you don't want that Greninja EX having a cape. Greninja EX having a cape is like the worst possible thing you want to do if you're, if you're facing your opponent. But it would be great for Kaizen in this match. But we're going in with Froakie. And is Froakie gonna go in for the swing, or is he just gonna go for like a rare candy play? Because at this point, it does look like maybe having the Greninja EX would be good, but no, it does look like we're just gonna swap back in there for draw power. Dartrix is gonna hit the field, and it does look like the energy is gonna be split here, and we're gonna go in for a swing. But where are we gonna hit? Gonna hit the second Frogadier. So Froakie, he definitely wants options in order to like swing, just in case if he doesn't get the regular Decidueye. Decidueye EX is just one of those cards that once it's out on the field, it just destroys almost anything once it has damage, because dealing 100 damage is insane. But then again, even if he has the baby Decidueye, right, it's kind of crazy. It does 70 damage. Anything that's like, below 70, it just like eradicates. So we're going into the healing. We're gonna prioritize the one that has the cape. So that information, the one Irida has been used in the deck, so you could cross that out. And we're gonna go into the draw engine here. That is a crazy draw, right? Because Rocky Helmet just opens up, the 100 damage potential like so much quicker in the game. So going in for the insta kill on the Froakie in the back row, getting game the first point into the Decidueye player. Professor's Research getting him multiple cards here. Nah, they don't play red card. I don't think the Decidueye does not play anything. Does not play any what do you call it? Hand disruption. Sorry. Right now, what Kaizen's just trying to do, he definitely needs access to that Greninja EX in order to get the free position swap. But then again, even if he swings for 100, he's like guaranteed to take 100 himself. So that's the only problem that I see. But I think he has to go into Greninja EX. Regular Greninja. It's kind of like an undefeated Decidueye deck if you think about it, because like all he really did is tied. He just tied one game. This copycat just gave him the nuts. It gave him 2 Decidueyes. There's no fighting back in this situation. There's nothing Kaizen could do at this moment. So it does look like that copycat was the nail in the coffin for sure. There's no more healing that could happen in this situation. And the best of 3, it does look like Decidueye will end up taking the tournament here. It just shows you, I guess, this matchup is nearly unwinnable, even having the Mars early game, which we saw. No, it wasn't early game, but at the same time, there's not really much that he could do at the situation to, you know, come back. Let's see. Insane. All he has to do here is swing and he wins the game. Good games. Decidueye. Decidueye ended up popping off. But this is insane. 361 person tournament. Decidueye ended up going undefeated and taking the best of 3. So here we go. We have the undefeated Decidueye deck right here. You know, it really comes down to, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? If it's not broken, don't fix it. The deck performs really, really well. You know, running 1 Dartrix, it looks like the Quick Grow Extract was the only thing that you really needed in order to really pop off. It comes in clutch with once you have the Dartrix, or you have a Rowlet that you can't really find an out for, but like it's just something to complement your gameplay style. You are playing 2-2 Decidueye EX and Decidueye. This deck right here does play really well against the meta once you see a Suicune dominated meta. It doesn't really play too well against other matches, but at the same time, once it plays well into Hydreigon, plays well into like Suicune and anything Magnezone or Ikorio-ish, which is the most popular decks. But like, you know, off meta decks, like it could struggle with that. But you know, I guess this fixes a bunch of the consistency here. Double Lily is way better than double Erica and 1 Lily. These are the ratios. We had a bunch of Decidueye players join the tournament as well with this deck. So yeah, nah, double copycat is definitely there for the consistency. Doubles research and quick grow extract and rocky helmet. Double rocky helmet is way better because you want to get your 100 damage live as soon as possible. And yeah, this is the deck that ended up going undefeated in the tournament.